أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Lesson number 229, Surah Fatir. We'll begin from ayah number 8. أَفَمَنْ زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ. Then is the one to whom the evil of his deed has been made attractive. زُيِّنَ. It has been made attractive, beautified. What has been beautified for him? سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ. His evil deeds. He does wrong actions, but those wrong actions, it seems so beautiful. Why? Shaitan has made them so attractive. And so he does them. You see, when you find something attractive, then you do it. Otherwise, you will never do it. فَرَأَهُ حَسَنًا. So he sees it as good. Something bad, but he sees it as a good action. He thinks that if he does it, he will benefit, he will have fun, he will enjoy, he will get fame. This person, can he be like the one who is rightly guided? Can he? Impossible. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُضِلُّ مَن يَشَاءُ. For indeed Allah, He sends astray whomsoever He wills, وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ. And He guides whomsoever He wills. When a person sees something evil as good, that is a sign of what? Misguidance. فَلَا تَذْهَبْ نَفْسَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَسَرَاتٍ. So do not let your soul expire over them in regret. تَذْهَبْ. تَذْهَبْ. ذَالْهَابَ. ذَهَبَ. What does ذَهَبَ mean? To go. And the dhahab of the nafs is when a person dies, when a person is ruined. So don't kill yourself, in other words, hasaratin, in regret, over these people. Who is being addressed? The Prophet ﷺ. Inna Allaha alimun bima yasna'un. Indeed, Allah, He knows of what they are doing. You see, when you tell someone, don't do this, Allah doesn't like it. Do this. This is what Allah likes. They listen to you. Do you feel happy? Of course you do. And when you tell someone, don't do this, Allah doesn't like it, but they still do it, does it make you sad? Of course it makes you sad. It really makes you sad. It gives you a lot of pain. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he would tell people, and they would not listen to him, obviously it made him very, very sad. So this is why he is being told, do not be so upset that you are harming yourself. Your duty is just to convey. And Allah, He knows about what these people are doing. The thing is that you tell somebody, this is right, this is wrong, and they don't listen. Why don't they listen? Because the wrong that they do seems very, very beautiful to them. It's very attractive. This is why they continue doing it. And what Allah has commanded, that seems so boring. So boring. Like for example, when it comes to doing the adhkar even, morning and evening, for some people it's a very heavy chore. Very heavy work. Why? You have to sit and read and read and read. And the other is you could be watching television, you could be watching a movie, you could be talking to a friend, gossiping. So for them, what is more attractive? What is more beautiful? What is more fun? Disobedience to Allah. You tell a person they don't listen, obviously it's going to make you sad. So the Prophet ﷺ is being comforted over here. Your responsibility is just to convey. That's it. فَإِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرٌ. You're only a warner. And don't grieve too much over their behavior, because Allah, He will recompense them. So, أَفَمَنْ زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ. Then the one for whom his evil action is adorned, it is beautified. أَفَمَنْ. This hamza is of istifham. And a question is being asked. And you know that many times a question is asked and the answer is not given. Isn't it so? What kind of a question is that? A rhetorical question. An answer is not necessary, but the answer is understood. It's implied by the context. And many times a comparison is being made between two things. Shart is given and the jawab is not given. I've given you examples earlier as well, that you say, if so-and-so comes, then such and such will happen. Right? But what is mentioned in the Quran? Only the first part. If so-and-so, if such and such happens. Right? And the jawab of that, the response of that is not given. Why? Because it's implied. It's understood by the context. And there's no need to say it. So, أَفَمَنْ زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ. Then the person for whom his evil action is beautified, it is adorned. And when it is beautified, what happens? He does it Does he do it once? No, he does it many, many times, again and again. And he enjoys it, and he does it without any feeling of guilt. You see, when you see wrong as wrong, and you do it, do you feel guilty? Of course you do. But if you don't see wrong as wrong, do you feel guilty even doing it? No. There's no guilt. And when you don't have any guilty feeling, then you continue doing it endlessly. So أَفَمَنْ زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ فَرَآهُ حَسَنًا. So he sees it as good, because of which he does it. And who is it that adorns evil deeds for people? Shaitan does that. This is one way through which Shaitan misleads mankind. That he adorns sins for them. He makes them attractive, because this is what he said. وَلَأُزَيِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ. I will adorn for them, beautify for them. Because when you see something as ugly, then you don't go near it. And in reality, evil deeds, what are they? Ugly, isn't it so? Because سَاءَ يَسُوءُ, what does it mean? To become bad, to become ugly. When a person does something wrong, he's not getting beautiful. He's becoming ugly, isn't it? But what does Shaitan do? He corrupts our thinking. He corrupts our sight, our vision. And what happens is that a person, instead of looking at something evil as evil, he begins to view it as good. And then he does it. He engages in it. Now, many times there are people who are doing wrong things, but they do them. Isn't it so? Like, for example, can you think of something? People see wrong as good, which is why they do it. For instance, gossiping, backbiting. Bid'ah, innovation. When it comes to innovation, people think of it as such a good deed, isn't it? But in reality, it is su, it is evil. But they see it as good, which is why they do it. And they feel very proud about it. And they will do it with a lot of devotion. They will put in so much hard work in doing it. Like, for example, staying up the whole night. On a night where the Prophet ﷺ did not do any specific worship. But they will do it. Similarly, they will undergo so much hardship, whereas it's not masnoon at all. And they view it as very, very good. And when a person engages in such a deed, which is bid'ah, which is innovation, is it really wrong? Is it? How is it wrong? How is it su? Because a person might argue, well, I'm praying all night, and you're saying I'm doing something wrong? How is it wrong? It's not a part of the deen, you've made it a part of the deen, but how is it su? I want some hadith or some ayah of the Quran that tells us that bid'ah is wrong, we shouldn't engage in it. It's su. كُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ وَكُلَّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ. So isn't it su? Of course it is su. No matter how much a person does it, it is evil. Similarly, what else do people find very good, whereas in reality it's wrong? When it comes to shirk even, don't many people find it good? Of course they do, which is why they do it. In Surah An-Naml, we learnt about the Hudhud. When the Hudhud went and saw the people of Saba and the queen, and that they were worshipping the sun. What did he say? That Shaitan has beautified this deed for them. فَصَدَّهُمْ عَنِ السَّبِيلِ فَهُمْ لَا يَهْتَدُونَ. This is what the Hudhud said, that Shaitan has beautified this shirk for them, and as a result they're prevented from the right way, and they're not rightly guided at all. Shirk, bid'ah, what else? What else is beautified for the people? It's wrong, but they still do it. Like, for instance, music. When it comes to music, many times people know it's wrong, isn't it? But what happens? They say, I really like it. I really enjoy it. I can't help but listen to it. I can't help but sleep while listening to this. People listen to it, whereas they know it's wrong. But it's so attractive. And there's so much glamour and so much goodness that is attached to it in worldly terms, which is why people don't see it as evil. What else? For example, plucking the eyebrows. If a person knows it's wrong, that there's larna on the person who does it, on the person who gets it done, and also on the person who does it. But people find it so beautiful. If you do it, then your eyebrows will look so nice. Isn't it? زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ فَرَآهُ حَسَنًا. Still a person justifies it. Whereas in reality, it's wrong. Okay, dealing with riba. What else? Any other examples? When a person enters into a wrong relationship and they think it's so cool,
oh, I have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend, and it's so nice, we talk to one another secretly, and yeah, he really loves me, and she really loves me, and you think it's so nice, and you talk about it all the time, you tell your friends about it, viewing it as something so beautiful, right? And then this leads to so many wrong things. We went out together, I saw him there, whereas in reality, what is it? The zina of the eyes, isn't it? And you think that if you see him, and you talk to him, it's something so beautiful. Shaitan makes it so attractive. Sometimes people engage in backbiting, in gossiping, in saying negative things about other people, thinking that they're doing islah bainan nas. They're just reforming, they're improving the relationships between people by backbiting some other people. This person does not like this person, so if I say bad things about her, she will be so happy. This is not a good deed at all. This is evil. So what do we see over here? That evil should be seen as evil. Sin should be seen as filthy, as something that is wrong. A person must have dislike, hatred for sin. Because if he has even the slightest affection for it, if he has even a soft corner in his heart for the sin, then what's going to happen? He's going to end up liking it, he's going to end up doing it. You know, the thing is that one is that a person sees something wrong is wrong. And he knows it's wrong, he knows he shouldn't be doing it. But he's finding it difficult to get out of it. Do you get it? He's not justifying it. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows he should not be doing it. So what happens then? Allah also gives him the tawfiq to come out of it. But when a person begins to justify it, and a person thinks, no, what I'm doing is right, why do I have to leave it? And he begins to argue about the verses of Allah. He begins to raise objections at the deen, that why is it so difficult, and why are there restrictions on this, and why do I have to do this, and why can I not do that? When a person begins to object, then what happens? He's not even given the tawfiq to get out of it. This is the problem. So in order to get out of evil, you have to regard it as evil. You have to look at it as evil. So أَفَمَنْ زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ فَرَآهُ حَسَنًا. So he sees it as good. What's the comparison being made over here? That's not mentioned, but what is implied is that can he be like the one who is rightly guided, who sees evil as evil? Is there any comparison between the two? Are they the same in any way? They're not the same. One's vision is working and the other person's vision is not working. One person sees things as they are and another person sees things as they are not. Isn't there a difference between people? A lot of difference. They're not the same at all. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُضِلُّ مَن يَشَاءُ. So indeed Allah, He sends astray whomever He wills. وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ. And He guides whomsoever He wills as well. Allah, He sends astray whoever He wills and He guides whomsoever He wills. And this is based on what? On His wisdom, on His knowledge. And who does Allah not offer guidance to? The one who does not desire guidance. Now a person who's looking at evil as good, does he desire guidance? No, he doesn't. So why would Allah force guidance on him? He will not. And a person who wants to be guided, Allah will guide him. فَلَا تَذْهَبْ نَفْسُكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَسَرَاتٍ. So you, O Prophet ﷺ, do not let your nafs go upon them, meaning over these people, in hasaratin, in regrets. تذهب, ذهب, and dhahab of nafs, the dhahab of nafs. What does it mean by that? When a person dies, or when a person, at the verge of destruction, he's at the verge of being finished. So don't let your soul expire. Don't destroy yourself over these people who don't listen, who see evil as good. Hasaratin. Hasarat is the plural of hasra. And what does hasra mean? Regret. Right? And this is basically regret over, something that you wish had not happened. So, فَلَا تَذْهَبْ نَفْسُكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَسَرَاتٍ. Don't feel bad about them. They don't listen, it's their fault. It's their choice. So you don't destroy yourself. Because what is your responsibility? To convey. And it's the responsibility of the people to accept and to change. If they don't change, you're not at fault. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَصْنَعُونَ. Indeed, Allah, He is knowing of whatever they do. Now, sometimes you see people who are very close to you, and they're doing something wrong. You tell them, this is not right. You shouldn't be doing it. They give a list of reasons why they're doing it. You feel horrible. You feel bad. You feel terrible inside. You cry. So many times it happens that women, they're crying for their husbands, they're crying for their children, because they don't get it. Now, you should have concern for them. This ayah does not mean don't have any concern for these people. You should have concern for them, because only when you're concerned, then you can remind. What this means is that don't consume yourself with this regret. Don't live in this misery. Because if you let this misery, this sadness consume you, then will you be able to continue? You will not be able to continue. Will you be able to tell them again? You will not be able to tell them. Like, for example, you tell somebody, for instance, you learned something in class about backbiting. Okay. Now you go, your friend is backbiting, you remind her we shouldn't be doing it. She says, yeah, mind your own business. I'm going to do whatever I do. If you let this grief consume you that she didn't listen to you, will you have the guts to tell somebody again? Will you? No, you won't. So don't let this grief consume you. Don't let it consume you. You do feel concerned. You feel sad. But move on. Move on. Because there are a lot of things to do. And remember that Allah, He knows very well about what the people are doing. Wallahu alladhi, and Allah is the one who arsala riyaha, who sends the winds. Allah is the one who sends the winds. Ar-riyah is a plural of rih. And the plural is used for what? For winds that bring mercy, that bring rain, that bring clouds, that bring good weather, cool breeze. So Allah is the one who sends the riyah. And these riyah, what do? فَتُثِيرُ سَحَابًا. So it raises the clouds. تُثِيرُ أَثَارَ يُثِيرُ ثَا وَرَى. Athara yuthiru means to plow the land, to till the land. And if you've ever seen it, any idea how it's done? Anybody has done gardening? Somebody in their house does gardening? How do you plow the land? The spade or some kind of machinery, depending on how much you have to do. And what happens in this process? What are you doing basically? You clean the soil first of all. Any weeds, any extra plants, you take them out, and then you soften the soil. How do you do that? How? By upturning it. That whatever is at the top goes down, and whatever is down comes up. Because what happens is that the soil, on the surface it may be dry, but inside it's extremely wet. Many times this is the case. Or it's very hard. You have to soften the soil, so that when you put the seed in, when you put the plant in, it can actually grow, it can actually come out. Right? And it's not such that it's dry on the top and extremely wet at the bottom, that your seeds, they get destroyed and they cannot grow. So you have to soften the soil first. And many times, it takes a long time to soften the soil. A long time. You need heavy machinery. So athara yuthiru is to what? Soften the soil, to plow the land. To plow the soil. And this is why this word is also used for raising, lifting something. Because in this process, what are you doing? The soil, the dirt that is beneath, you raise it, you bring it up. So similarly, tusiru, athara yusiru over here, what does it mean? That the winds, they lift up the clouds. How? That they lift up the vapor, and the vapor, the moisture, what happens? It turns into clouds. When the wind blows, only then the clouds can form. فَتُثِيرُ سَحَابًا. And these clouds, they are driven by the winds. تُثِيرُ. They're lifted up by the winds. They're driven by the winds. And as they're driven by the winds, what happens? فَسُقْنَاهُ إِلَى بَلَدٍ مَيِّتٍ. And then, فَسُقْنَاهُ, we drive it from sin, well, off. And what does that mean? To drive, right? Siyaqa, driving. So suqnahu, we drive it, we drive the clouds ila baladin, to a land that is mayyit, dead. What does it mean by dead land? That is dry, barren, nothing is growing on it. And it's not necessary that it's barren in the sense that it cannot produce anything. No, it's dead because of lack of moisture. There's no water, because of which there's no life. So فَسُقْنَاهُ إِلَى بَلَدٍ مَيِّتٍ. And then فَأَحْيَيْنَا بِهِ الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا. And then we revive the earth with it, meaning by this rain that falls down from the clouds, بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا, after its death, كَذَلِكَ النُّشُورِ. And likewise will be the resurrection in the same way. How? That just as you see land that is completely dead, nothing is on it, not even an ant, nothing, not even a blade of grass. It's completely dry, parched. And what happens? Rain falls down and immediately you see it lush, green. And when there's plants, there are birds, there are insects, so many creatures. It comes back to life. Similarly, people, when they die, their bodies are completely lifeless. They cannot move, nothing. And as they're buried into the earth, bodies decomposed completely, lost in the earth. But on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will resurrect them. He will also bring them to life. And He shows this to us, that how the land is dead, it comes back to life. Similarly, you too will come back to life. This is not difficult for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all. And isn't it amazing that this water, it was somewhere else first. Allah sent the winds, they lift up the water, the vapor forms into clouds, the clouds are driven somewhere else, and then the water falls down from the sky. Isn't this amazing? Where that water was, where it comes, by such a beautiful system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed. Man kana yuridu al-izzata, whoever desires honor, whoever wants izzah. What is izzah? Might, power, prestige, honor, fame, authority, greatness. So whoever wants greatness, whoever wants fame, whoever desires glory, then he should remember that فَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ جَمِيعًا. Then for Allah is al-izzah, the glory, the honor, jami'an, all of it, all together. What does it mean by that? That to Allah belongs all honor. In this dunya, there are many, many things that people like, isn't it? People like money, they like beauty, they like food, different things. And all of the things that people really like is honor, respect. Each person wants to be treated with respect. Many times what do people say? Don't give me money, just treat me with respect. Right? Just treat me with dignity. Just speak to me nicely. Just speak to me properly. I don't want anything from you. Just respect me. That's it. That's all I want from you. Because this is something that people really like. If a person is not treated with respect, he hates it. He hates it. So, this ayah shows to us that if a person wants glory, he wants fame, he wants respect, then he should remember that all izzah belongs to who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is completely His possession. So what does that mean? That if all izzah belongs to Him, He is the only one who can give it. Isn't it so? He is the only one who can give it. So if you want izzah, who should you ask? Who should you seek it from? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Ali Imran, ayah 26, we learn, قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ تُؤْتِي الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتَنْزِعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرُ إِنَّكَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. All izzah is with who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the Malik al-Mulk. He gives mulk to whomever He wills and He takes it from whomever He wills. He gives honor to whomsoever He wills and He humiliates whomsoever He wills. In His hand is all good. He can give it to whomsoever He wants. Similarly, we learn in Surah Fatir, ayah 180, Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Exalted is your Lord, the Lord of might, rabbil izzah, the Lord of might, the Lord of all honor, amma yasifun, above what they describe. So if a person wants honor, who should he turn to? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we see that to gain fame, to gain respect, who do people turn to? Other people. Isn't it amazing? And the fact is that when a person turns to people to gain fame and respect, does he actually get it? No. In fact, he gets humiliated. The person who demands respect from people, who demands fame from them, who seeks it from people, in reality he gets humiliated before their eyes. This is what happens. And when a person tries to gain izzah from people, then he does the craziest of things, which don't befit him, which don't befit a human being, which don't befit an honorable human being. Like, for example, he'll begin to show off, right? He'll begin to flaunt what he has, show off what he has. Why? Just to stand out, just so that he's noticeable. And do people respect such a person? No. The more a person shows off, the more you dislike them, isn't it? The more a person tries to seek attention, the more you are averse to them. Isn't this normal? Similarly, we see that when a person tries to seek izzah from people, what does he do? Sometimes he becomes arrogant. Sometimes he lies. Sometimes he disobeys Allah. And when a person disobeys Allah, can he get any izzah? Impossible. So, فَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ جَمِيعًا. You see, Imam Malik, he was writing his book. He wrote his book, Muwatta, compilation of hadith. And when people saw that, many people started doing the same thing. You know, it's like one person does something and other people start doing the same thing. Oh, he's getting famous like that, I can also get famous the same way. So many people started doing it. Somebody came and asked Imam Malik, so many people are doing it. I mean, how will you be known? He said, مَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ بَقِيًا. Whatever is done for the sake of Allah, that will last. And today, which Muwatta do we know of Imam Malik? Isn't it? So isn't that amazing? When a person does something for the sake of Allah, trying to seek honor before Him, that I should become good in the sight of Allah, that Allah should accept this deed from me. Maybe I will have some rank, some status in the sight of Allah. Maybe I will get closer to Allah like this. So when a person does something in this way, he has ikhlas. He does it with sincerity. And when he does it with sincerity, that Allah grants acceptance to his work. And then the person gets true izzah. But when a person turns to others, then what happens? He doesn't get any honor. Instead, he is humiliated. So فَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ جَمِيعًا. Also, it has been said that what it means by فَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ جَمِيعًا is that all izzah is only for Him. He is the only one who deserves it. Because who is Allah? Al-Aziz. Right? So He is the only one who deserves izzah. So, مَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ الْعِزَّةِ, whoever wants izzah, you should remember that all izzah belongs to who? Allah. He is the one who deserves izzah. What are we? We are only people. We're so small. We're so insignificant. We're nothing. And who is Allah? The Khaliq, Malik of everything. So all izzah, who deserves it? It's only Him who deserves it. We learn in Surah Al-Munafiqun, ayah number 8, وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And to Allah belongs all honor, and to His Messenger, and to the believers. So it's up to Him. He can give izzah to whomever He wills. You understand? All izzah, who deserves it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because He deserves it, He has absolute right over it. He can only give it to anyone whom He wants. And who does He give it to? His Messenger and the believers. So if a person wants izzah, what should he do? Disobey Allah or obey Allah? Obey Allah. That is what brings izzah. Also we learn in the Quran, in Surah An-Nisa, ayah 139, that الَّذِينَ يَتَّخِذُونَ الْكَافِرِينَ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَيَبْتَغُونَ عِنْدَهُمُ الْعِزَّةَ فَإِنَّ الْعِزَّةَ لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا. That those who take the disbelievers as their friends. Allah questions that do they want izzah from them? This is why they are taking them as friends. They should remember that indeed all izzah, who deserves it? Only Allah deserves it. And only He can give it to whomsoever He wants. And the way to get izzah is what? Obedience to Allah. This is the only way. This is why Allah says, إِلَيْهِ يَصْعَدُ الْكَلِمُ الطَّيِّبُ. To Him ascends the good words. يَصْعَدُ su'ud. What does su'ud mean? To ascend. So to Him ascend al-kalimu tayyib. Al-kalim, what does it mean? Words, statement. And what kind of words ascend to Him? Al-tayyib, the good words. What does it mean by this? Good words ascend to Him. What does it mean by this ascension? Su'ud over here gives meaning of qubul. That what kind of words does He accept? pure words, good words. So su'ud means that he accepts them, qubul. And su'ud also can be literally understood as that the angels, they take them up to the arsh. Right? They ascend with these kalimu tayyib. So ilayhi yas'adu al-kalimu tayyib. Now the question is, what does it mean by al-kalimu tayyib? What words are these? What are pure words, good words? La ilaha illallah. What did they say? The first kalima is tayyib. And tayyib means pak, right? And what is it? La ilaha illallah. Right? So, ilayhi yas'adu al-kalimu tayyib. Al-kalimu tayyib refers to words of iman, words of tawheed, words of belief, such as La ilaha illallah. Secondly, al-kalimu tayyib also includes words of praise. Praise of who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when a person glorifies Allah, when a person praises Allah, such words are what? Al-kalimu tayyib. When a person does tasbih, when a person does tahmeed, he says Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. He remembers Allah, he does dhikr of Allah. All of that is what? Al-kalimu tayyib. Thirdly, al-kalimu tayyib also includes dua. Praying to Allah, making dua. Even that is al-kalimu tayyib. Because when a person is making dua to Allah, is he not glorifying Allah? Isn't he? Of course he is. Is he not praising Him? Yes, he is. Is he not saying words of belief, of iman, such as La ilaha illallah? In so many du'as, tawheed is mentioned in different ways. Allah's praise is mentioned in different ways. A person humbles himself in different ways. So dua is also al-kalimu tayyib. And there is a book, in fact, which is named Al-Kalimu Tayyib, which is a compilation of the various adhkar and du'as that the Prophet ﷺ used to make. So it's called Al-Kalimu Tayyib. Why? Because it's a compilation of du'as. Also, Al-Kalimu Tayyib includes any good statement. Any good statement, such as Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahi anil Munkar. A person tells somebody to do that which is right. He stops them from doing that which is wrong. Right? Similarly, a person recites the Quran. A person says good words when talking to others. A person remembers Allah in his speech. So this is what? Al-Kalimu Tayyib. So, ilayhi yas'adu al-Kalimu Tayyib. All good words, they ascend to Allah. Allah accepts them. He likes them. But what is it that takes these Kalimu Tayyib up? What is it that causes these good words to ascend? That make these words worthy of acceptance? What is it? The next part of the ayah. وَالْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحُ يَرْفَعُهُ. And the good deed, what do they do? يَرْفَعُهُ. يَرْفَعُ, it raises it. Meaning the good deeds, they raise what? The kalimu tayyib. So a person, he says good words. But when are those good words going to be accepted? When a person does good deeds. So what does it mean then? Good words alone are not enough. They must be backed by action. You understand? So for example, a person says, La ilaha illallah. I believe there is no God but Allah. A person says this kalimu tayyib of the statement of iman, the statement of tawheed. Now, iman is what? Just affirmation? It's also about submission, id'an, isn't it so? So he has to prove that with some action. Like for example, when the time to pray comes, what does he do? He prays, right? When he learns of a command that Allah has given, he does it. So when he will follow al-kalimu tayyib by some good deed, then that kalimu tayyib will be accepted. Do you get it? When a person will follow al-kalimu tayyib by a good deed, then that kalimu tayyib will be accepted. So a person cannot just say, yes, I'm a Muslim, and he doesn't do anything. You understand? He cannot just make claims. Which is why the munafiqeen, they would say, آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ. We believe in Allah. وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. But what does Allah say? وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Why? Because when it comes to their actions, they're completely different. So good words alone are not sufficient. Now, al-kalimu tayyib also includes what? Dua, for example, right? Al-kalimu tayyib includes dua. Now, a person makes dua, al-kalimu tayyib. Now, ilayhi yas'adu al-kalimu tayyib. That those words of dua, that supplication should ascend up to Allah. But what is it that's going to raise it up? What is it that's going to make the chances of that dua being accepted increase? What? Good deeds. You understand? So when a person, he says good words, meaning he makes dua, and then he performs some good deed, or before making the dua, he performs a good deed, then his dua is going to be accepted. The chances of the dua being accepted are very, very high. Which is why we are told about certain times when making dua is recommended. Like, for example, when a person is opening his fast. Right? Because he has been in the state of ibadah all day long. Right? Now his act of worship is going to be completed. So when he is about to complete it, al-amal salih, what should he do? Al-kalimu tayyib. So when both go up together, they'll be accepted. You understand? So ilayhi yas'adu al-kalimu tayyib wal-amalu salihu yarfa'uhu. Also it has been said that yarfa'uhu, he raises it. What it means by this is that the kalimu tayyib, it raises the amalu salih. So it's the other way around. So how will we understand this ayah? That ilayhi yas'adu al-kalimu tayyibu wal-amalu salih. Pause. Yarfa'uhu. That to him ascend what? The good words and also good deeds. But what is it that raises the good words? The good deeds. And what is it that raises the good deeds? Good words. So for example, if a person is performing good deeds, but he is doing it without kalimu tayyib. He is doing a lot of good deeds, but he does not have iman. He has not said La ilaha illallah. Are those good deeds worth anything? No. When will they be accepted? When they're backed up by al-kalimu tayyib. So we see that both are necessary. You understand? Where good deeds are necessary, good words are also necessary. Both are necessary. When a person performs good deeds and he also says good words, then that is what elevates him in the sight of Allah. That is what increases his rank in the sight of Allah. So, إِلَيْهِ يَصْعَدُ الْكَلِمُ الطَّيِّبُ وَالْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحُ يَرْفَعُهُ وَالَّذِينَ يَمْكُرُونَ السَّيِّئَاتِ. And those people who plot evil deeds. What does it mean by that? They commit evil deeds. And why is the word makr used? Because makr is what? Evil, isn't it? And makr is secret. Many times people commit evil deeds how? In secret. Because even if a person does not have iman, his heart will tell him what is right, what is wrong. So وَالَّذِينَ يَمْكُرُونَ السَّيِّئَاتِ, those people who commit evil deeds, لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ, for them is a severe punishment. When a person does amal salih, Allah accepts it. And when a person does sayyi'ah deed, then what happens? For him is adabun shadid. وَمَكْرُ أُولَٰئِكَ, and the plot of those people, huwa yabur, it will perish. Meaning, all of the plots, the scheming of these evildoers, will they bring any benefit to them? No. They will yabur, all their efforts wasted. Yabur from the root letters bawar. What does bawar mean? Halak, destruction. So, وَمَكْرُ أُولَٰئِكَ هُوَ يَبُورٌ, it will perish, it will get ruined, it shall come to nothing, it will bring them no benefit in dunya, nor in akhirah. You see, many times people say, oh, big conspiracy, big plot, big this. Never get afraid. Always think about it. Eventually, it's going to come to nothing. Because Allah Himself says, وَمَكْرُ أُولَٰئِكَ هُوَ يَبُورٌ. In Surah Fatir only, ayah 43, we learn, وَلَا يَحِيقُ الْمَكْرُ السَّيِّئُ إِلَّا بِأَهْلِهِ. And the evil plot does not encompass except its own people. Those who do evil, they're the ones who fall in that plot. They're the ones who suffer. It's not the others.